March 11th, 1978, Veterans Memorial Auditorium, Des Moines, Iowa. Welcome to the championship round of the Iowa High School Girls Basketball Tournament. Tonight's game pits Lake View-Auburn, a team that has won 2 championships and 1 consolation in the last 4 years, against Ankeny, the newest powerhouse team. All right, there's nothing like being right on the firing line. We're right in the middle of it down here at Veterans Memorial Auditorium, and we have a great game coming your way. And this, of course, is the championship of Iowa High School Girls Basketball, Lake View-Auburn against Ankeny. A lot of pageantry, a lot of color, and a lot of highlights surrounding this classic tournament. Let's take a look at some of these before we bring you highlights of the game itself. One of the highlights of the Iowa Girls High School Basketball Tournament each year is the presentation of the State Tournament Queen at a breakfast sponsored by the Retail Merchants Bureau of the Greater Des Moines Chamber of Commerce.
Basketball Tournament Queen, Kathy Baker of Pleasant Valley High School.
Kathy Baker, the new queen, comes, of course, from Pleasant Valley. Her team bowed out in the first game against Vinton, 71-62. But in that game, Kathy scored 32 points and pulled down 9 rebounds for the Spartans. She's impressive in a list of school activities, including being a 4-point student. She's an all-state volleyball player and twice All-Bend Conference in basketball. The big event itself, the final night of the 1978 Girls State Basketball Tournament, is just about ready to get underway before a crowd of close to 15,000. And one of the highlights each year, the attendance of Governor Robert Ray and his family. They are really girls basketball fans. The crowd is ready for the first item on the agenda to get underway on this championship night, the consolation championship game between the 2 teams that lost in the semifinals on Friday night, Vinton High School and St. Edmunds of Fort Dodge, which earned the reputation of being the Cinderella team of the tournament. Vinton took an early lead of 22-16 at the end of the quarter, and by the end of the halftime, they were ahead 41-37. After a tight third quarter, Vinton blew it open in the final quarter, winning it 90-76. It also produced some outstanding performances, namely that by Mona Mossbarger, number 51 in the light. Mona was an all-tournament guard the year before. She transferred from Cedar Rapids Kennedy, now playing for Vinton, and she scored 56 points in this game, and that 56-point total enabled her to win the scoring derby of the entire tournament with 152 points. Incidentally, Mona also went on to be named to the all-tournament team at forward. The year before, she was named at guard. Only one other girl in state tournament history has accomplished that feat before. Nancy 80 led St. Edmunds of Fort Dodge with 34 points. Nancy finished 3rd in the scoring derby for the entire tournament with 118 points. As Vinton, taking an early lead, went on to defeat Fort Dodge St. Edmunds 90-76, finishing the season with a record of 27-3. And Vinton winds up one of the finest seasons in its history, Washington High School of Vinton over the Galettes of St. Edmunds of Fort Dodge. Now the huge crowd is ready for one of the traditional parts of this tournament, the Parade of Champions. The overall record for the 1978 field was 398 wins and 28 defeats. Here's a first-time team, but a school with a great athletic tradition, the Little Cyclones of Ames High School and Coach Bud Legg. These ladies were undefeated until the sectional final, and they had to defeat the team that beat them to make the final 16. Welcome, Coach Dwayne Nievenhoven and the Applington Panthers. Another first-time team. These girls won the Sioux Valley Conference and had lost only once prior to coming to state. Welcome from Northwest Iowa coach Buzz Curry and the Aurelia Attons. These girls were undefeated, rated 2nd in the state and the North Iowa Conference champions before losing in the first round. Coach Howard Dorman and the Belmont Broncos. These girls made their 2nd straight trip to state and the finals and lost an overtime game to St. Edmunds of Fort Dodge. Meet Coach Eldon Gamble and the Creston Pantherettes. A well-balanced team both offensively and defensively. This club was also undefeated prior to the tournament first round. Meet Coach David Taylor and the Elkhorn-Kimballton Lady Dames. Last year's runner-up, this group lost 3 of their first 6 games, but they came on strong late in the season. Coach Harold Wilkinson and the Cedar Rapids Kennedy Cougars. To have an official state tournament, you almost have to include this team. They've been here 15 times in the past 17 years. Coach Bud McLaren and the Minneapolis Bullets. This team avenged their only loss of the regular season during sectional play. Coach Ernie Sadler and the Pleasant Valley Spartans. These girls are the defending champions, but they lost to Ankeny, the eventual champion of 1978, in the first round. The 1977 champions, Coach Bob Merkel and the Southeast Polk Rams. Another team making its first appearance in the Final 16. 5 of the team members are also on the volleyball championship team, which will appear later tonight. From Northeast Iowa, Coach Carol Snyder and the Dubuque Wahlert Golden Eagles. A fine, high-scoring team for Northwest Iowa. This club, representing the Siouxland Conference, lost only once prior to the quarterfinals. They feature the state's second highest scorer in Cindy Dreesen, Coach Bill Lombard and the Westline Wildcats. All told, 2,804 teams competed for 15 championships in girls high school athletics in the state of Iowa this past year. For the first time in history, there are champions in outdoor track, a class system introduced in 1977. Other championships in such sports as swimming and volleyball and golf and gymnastics have helped to establish Iowa as the #1 state in the nation for girls high school athletics overall. Many of the girls you see walking down in the Parade of Champions compete in as many as 2 or 3 other sports during the entire year. That is why the competition is so intense when we get down to the state tournament competition we're looking at right now. And now one of the most colorful highlights, the Parade of Flags.
But the place to live and grow is the one that we all know, the best in all the land, our own beloved state, Iowa. The spirit of Americans has made our country truly the land of the free and the home of the brave. With God's blessing, may we continue to grow and prosper.
Now let's meet the starters for the 2 teams playing for the championship, Ankeny and Lakeview Auburn. First of all, in the guard court, from Ankeny, number 33, Sally Wicks. Lakeview Auburn, number 20, Diane Fick. Ankeny, number 43, Tina Bertogli. Lakeview Auburn, number 32, Sherry Fredericks. Ankeny, number 53, Sue John. And Lakeview Auburn, number 52, Julie Meyer. Now the forward. Ankeny, number 25, Kathy Kuhn. Lakeview Auburn, number 50, Joanne Shodden. Ankeny, number 45, Mary Yorey. Lakeview Auburn, number 30, Gloria Oberding. Ankeny, number 55, Sherry Anderson. Lakeview Auburn, number 44, Sarah Wernemont. The coaches for Ankeny, Dick Rasmussen. And for Lakeview Auburn, Lewis Bud McCrae. Now the first half of action brought to you play-by-play by yours truly, Jim Zombel and Frosty Mitchell.
Kathy Kuntz moving in. She will be in position to receive it. Mary Ori standing up there. Ankeny coming in with an offensive average 75.1. Lakeview Auburn coming in with an offensive average of 76.9. They're very similar in those departments. Sherry Anderson with the basketball. Out to Mary Ori, number 45 for Ankeny. Here's Kathy Kuntz. And that favorite shot of hers, Frosty Mitchell, she's been a deadeye throughout the tournament. She had that shot from the circle.
9 in a row in the first quarter last night, and that answers the question about tournament toughness and tension. You can feel the tension in here, but these kids have been here before. Their 4th game this week.
Joanne Shodden comes right back and misses on her attempt. She was making note all the way through. Joanne Shodden attempting it, and the rebound picked up by Sue John, number 53, but now it's going to be turned over. First turnover of the game.
Jim, one of the big decisions had to be Bud McCrae. Where do you play Oberding? He said at forward. Gloria Oberding has played guard and forward both brilliantly in this tournament, and she's the one with the ball right now. She might end up in the guard court before the night's over.
She could make all tournament at both positions. She's played that well. Here's Joanne Shodden with the ball. Ankeny with an early 2-0 lead, but Sarah Wernemont now as Lakeview's in possession of the ball. Second time they shoot. This time Oberding with a rebound, and back to Lakeview Auburn again in forecourt. Joanne Shodden. And she's been the high scorer on this team, and a blocking foul is called. Let's see who's going to be assessed against, I believe, on Sue John.
Ankeny coach Dick Rasmussen up off the bench on that particular one. Shodden likes to drive. That's why she has such a sensational shot percentage. She gets a lot of lay-ins, but Ankeny put up the fence.
Averaging 31.1 points a game. Shodden with the ball. Back out to Sarah Wernemont, number 44. Sarah is 5'11". She's the tallest member of the front court of Lakeview Auburn. The team from West Central Iowa. Oberding with that wide-open shot. That's the 3rd shot they've had, and they continue to play basketball in the forward court of Lakeview Auburn. The Hawkettes against the Hawkettes.
And, of course, they burned off a minute and a half.
And now, finally, Wernemont gets it through, and we have a tie game of 2. 6:27 left to go in the first quarter. Back to the Ankeny front court. Kathy Kuntz ready to receive the ball and put it into play to Mary Ori, number 45. Percentage-wise, we'd have to say the Lakeview Auburns controlled the ball most of the time, about 80%. First shot no good by Anderson. Second shot is waved off. Mary Ori's ball went through the hoop, but she was fouled. Mary Ori getting the shot that time, and the foul called, I believe, on Fredericks.
That's the Ankeny bench you're looking at. There, Dick Rasmussen, along with his, there's Dick up off the bench right now.
Wearing that fiery red coat of his. Okay, and here's Anderson shooting and scoring for Ankeny. And Ankeny now with a 4-2 lead.
It is paramount that Ankeny keep close or keep the lead to control the tempo of this game, because Lakeview Auburn has written the book on how to slow it down and take you out of your game.
And he doesn't mind sitting on the ball. McCrae up for the shot is Shodden, and she is fouled by Sally Wicks. Sally Wicks picks up foul number 1, and that's put Joanne Shodden at the free throw line. She is a 67.8% free throw shooter. From the field, she's hitting 68.6.
Playing in her 16th state tournament game.
And you can't play it any more than that.
That's the record. Virginia Henniges of Maynard West Central in the 50s did it. She played in 4 state championship games, 16 state tournament games. This girl is in her 3rd state championship
They won the title 3 years ago. They won it 2 years ago. They played in the consolation game last year. They're playing in the championship game this year, and we have a tie game at 4 as the Ankeny guards bring it out against the fine defensive play of the Lakeview Auburn forwards. Both forward coaches are noted for their defensive play.
Neither team has suffered many turnovers in this tournament.
Kathy Kuntz to Mary Ori. How they gang up on her. Back to Kuntz. There's that open shot she likes, and she drains it again. 4 points now for her as Ankeny takes a 2-point lead at 6-4.
And that's why they're devastating against the zone. They have 3 girls. Any one of them come out, play the wing, and can hit it.
Here's Oberding now into Wernemont. Here Oberding again, and starting her drive, and a charging foul off the ball is called on Joanne Shodden. That's the first foul on Shodden, the first foul on the forward court of Lakeview Auburn. And Ankeny now has a chance to double the score if they score off this possession. Tina Bertogli
The official
Well,
down
throw it
there
in.
handling the ball is Rich Sampson. Rich is 43 years old, out of Colesburg, Iowa. Been a referee for 23 years. He's a farmer. This is his 7th state tournament.
Mariori in forecourt to Kathy Kuntz underneath to Anderson. Sherry Anderson back again to Kuntz. Can she get the ball? And she does get it before it goes over the line. Yori back to Kuntz, and there's her favorite shot, and you see what happens to it. As she is 3 for 3, has 6 points. Ankeny leads 8-4 over Lakeview Auburn.
And, of course, when you've got a basketball team that's won 30 games in a row this year, 31 over the last 2 years, you're not used to being behind.
And here's Shodden with the ball. Although the times they have been behind, the opponent had to pay. They trailed Shaler 8-2 early in the sectional. They led at halftime 50-11, which shows you what they can do. And now in the front court, Oberding with the ball. Driving against Bertogli, and off-balance shot. Sue John off with the rebound.
Ankeny has a big possession right here with a 4-point lead.
Sue John now trying to look at that aggressive defensive play by the forwards of Lakeview Auburn, and the pass to Mariori.
And
Good ball handler.
To our viewers around the nation, they might notice there's not a time restriction on getting the ball into the forward court.
But there is a 3-second possession limit, and Mariori, who's a state champion softball player on the Ankeny state champion softball team of last fall.
Ankeny,
a 10-4 lead for Ankeny.
Ankeny has tremendous momentum. They come out of the conference that had the state championship last year, the Central Iowa Conference, when Southeast Polk won it.
All right, and once again, they remain cold, and Joanne Shodden's off with the rebound. Back to Oberding again. Here's Shodden with the ball, and Sally Wicks picks up foul number 2. Ankeny very, very aggressive in their guarding.
Won't be any free throw this early in the ballgame. That's a troubled Bud McCrae that you're looking at right there on the bench for Lakeview Auburn.
The big difference here, Frosty, is that Lakeview Auburn has hit only 1 out of 7 shots, while Ankeny has hit 5 out of 6 so far in the quarter. That's Sarah Wernemann on a jump shot, gets her 4th, and now it's 10-6, Ankeny by 4.
And that big difference in shot percentage might be the Ankeny defense.
Mariori, look at that shot by Mariori. Some people call her the best all-round athlete in the state of Iowa this year, and it's hard to dispute it, Frosty, on what we've seen.
She's such a competitor to go with that athletic ability.
Ankeny leading 12-6. Lakeview Auburn with the ball, 3:18 to go first quarter. Gloria Oberding. They screen her out, do a great job there defensively underneath.
Ankeny's record might be 27-4.
Look at that block by Tina Bertogli.
But they've won 22 of their last 23. That's momentum.
Against the toughest competition in the state. There's not much doubt about that.
Look at that defense around Shodden.
Now Sarah Wernemann. They get it into Joanne Shodden, and she gets the shot away, but it's off balance. And Tina Bertogli just gives her that one shot with the rebound. Anderson, fast break to Kuntz. Kathy Kuntz with the ball. In underneath now. Back to Kuntz. She's open. She shoots. She scores. Kathy Kuntz is 4 for 4. Ankeny's secret. Tremendous balance in their front court. Their forwards are within 1 1/10 point of each other in scoring average, all about 22 points a game.
An Ankeny team that not only has never won the state championship, they've never played on Saturday night before.
Now here's Shodden with the ball. Back to Oberding. Ankeny leading 14-6. Sarah Wernemann. Gloria Oberding. And Oberding trying to hit that outside shot, and they're giving her just one as Ankeny comes out with a rebound, but a foul on Bertogli as she tried to get that rebound. Oberding is going out of the game.
Oberding might be going into the other court.
And that could well be, Frosty, because she plays extremely well. Becky Boos, number 10, is coming into the lineup. She's 5'6", 16 years old. And now it's Becky Boos putting the ball in. And she comes in. And Wernemann takes the shot, and it's good.
Jim,
14-8.
I mentioned that Ankeny had never played on Saturday night before, but their coach has. Dick Rasmussen coached in 1967 South Hamilton to a runner-up against Mediapolis that night.
Right, and Bud Legg was his assistant, and they played against another Bud that night. That's Bud McLaurin. There's Kathy Kuntz. Uncanny shooting by Kathy Kuntz. 5 and 5 now. 5 for 5 for Kathy, and it's Ankeny leading 16-8. Lakeview Auburn with the basketball. Here's Becky Boos with it. Back to Boos again. Wernemann to Boos. They're trying to hit Shodden, but they're all grouped around her. She sets the pick. Wernemann shoots, and Wicks picks up another foul. Not much doubt about that one. Wernemann shoots, and it's good. And she has a chance for a three-point play. Gloria Oberding is going in the defensive court.
You'll notice she had to report to the floor referee as well as the bench official to announce she was going into the other court. She can do that 4 times during the ball game.
She replaces Sherry Fredericks now, who goes to the bench. So Gloria Oberding, who started out as a guard and is well known as a guard as a forward. Now Wernemont hits her 3rd point, and it's a 16-11 game. Ankeny by 5. Look at the defense being played by those Lakeview Auburn forwards. Tina Bertogli. Mary Yori always inbounds the ball when it comes across the line to Kathy Coons. And they leading score for Ankeny. Yori with the ball.
And they put Oberding on Yori.
Oberding on Yori, and right away, what a matchup this is going to be. Gloria Oberding picks up a foul. We just received a wire from one of the big Lakeview Auburn fans, Bill Chrisman of Chrisman Farms, Mapleton, Iowa, now down at Paradise Valley, Arizona. And Frosty, he says he lives on a mountain down there, and he can catch the replay of this on public broadcasting, both from Phoenix and from Tucson.
Well, this might be worth watching twice. Mary Yori's a girl that had a contact lens problem last night, but she just bagged a couple of free throws.
Very important ones, and it's now 18-11 in favor of Ankeny. Gloria Oberding with the basketball. One of 5 Oberding sisters, one of which still is to play basketball. Great job by Mary Yori as Ankeny comes up with the interception. Kathy Coons shoots it, and this time can't quite make it go through the hoop.
There were 3 of those. Miss. 3 of those Yori sisters that played on the same team here in the state tournament in 1975.
That about equals the Oberding record. They've had 3 girls, and Gloria makes 4th playing on Lakeview Auburn. They all played in state tournament competition. There's Joanne Schotten. Joanne Schotten needs to score 49 points tonight in this game to tie Mona Mossbarger for the lead in tournament scoring. Here's Yori with the basketball. Over to Kathy Kuntz. Back again to Yori. There you see Mary Yori now. She gets her 8th point of the game, and Ankeny with a 7-point lead, 20-13. 10 seconds left to go in the quarter. And it's Becky Booth with the basketball for Lakeview in the light uniforms.
This is the furthest that they've been behind in the state tournament.
Furthest I can ever remember in being behind at any of their appearances. There's the end of the first quarter. Ankeny 20, Lakeview Auburn 13.
One of the key things is, Jim, that Lakeview Auburn is not getting the shot that they live on. They're not getting the drive by Schotten that has given them shooting so much as 91% in a half against Ames here the other night.
All right, inbounding the ball. Lakeview Auburn girls basketball. You retain possession between quarters. There's no time limit, as Frosty said, for possession by teams in either the front or back court, but 3 seconds in the lane and 3 seconds individual possession time, and of course 2 bounces in either front or back court. And underneath, there's Wernemont, and Tina Bertogli off for the rebound. She's 5'11". She led her team in rebounding and in steals and in block shots during the regular season. Mary Yori. There you see Anderson with the ball, and there you see a drive against Julie Meyer. And there you see 2 more points for Ankeny. Their biggest lead of the game, 22-13, a 9-point bulge here.
Couple of real
second quarter.
Veteran ball clubs out there. For Ankeny, their 4th trip to the state in 5 years. For Lakeview Auburn, their 5th trip in 6 years. That's a lot of tournament experience.
Here's Becky Booth with the basketball. Schotten having to work to get in position underneath now to Wernemont. Bent over backwards. That's why she has difficulty making the shot. But Joanne Schotten gets down with the rebound and is tied up immediately. So it's going to be Schotten at about 5'10". Jumping against Sue John, who stands 5'5". And it's Wernemont getting possession for Lakeview Auburn. Out to Becky Booth. Underneath. And Wernemont, tight guarding by Sally Wicks, but she nevertheless snaked that hand up there and got the shot through the hoop. 22-15. And it's Ankeny in front. The Hawkettes against the Hawkettes. Though we can't use the nickname too much to designate the team. Kathy Coons back to Mary Yori. Yori likes to drive in and bounce out to Coons, and Coons likes that shot. Kathy Coons hits it again. That's her 6th shot out of 7 attempts. And as a team, Ankeny's hit 11 out of 13 from the field, and they lead 24-15. Becky Booz over to Schotten. Back to Booz to Wernemont. And the ball is not dropping like it did on previous occasions here at State. Beautiful rebound by Bertogli. Here's Yori. Fast break. This time hits the glass too hard. Gloria Oberding with the rebound.
Jim, you talk about all the confusion of Hawkettes and Hawkettes. There was actually a girl in Iowa this year that played ball named Donna Ett. Her last name was E-T-T-E at Cardinal Stritch High School in Keokuk.
All we need, Frosty, is for her to be on one of these teams tonight to complete it.
Or Council Bluffs St. Albert's had 3 triplets that all played in the guard court.
Now, Oberding, beautiful block by Gina Bertogli. Look at that defense by Bertogli as she blocks one of the best forwards in the state, Joanne Shodden. Underneath to Yori. Back to Coates, and she shoots and scores. And Ankeny, ladies and gentlemen, has streaked away to an 11-point lead over a team that has not tasted defeat since last year at the state tournament.
Bud McRae wants timeout.
26-15. Timeout on the floor. Ankeny 26. Lakeview Auburn 15. It was Mike Henderson, one of the foremost experts on girls basketball from the Girls Union, who said the winner of the Ankeny East game in the district would most likely win the state tournament. And so far, that's being borne out. Ankeny rather won that game 70-61 over an East team that had been rated 3rd in the state all year, while Ankeny itself was 10th.
Ankeny lost to East in that sectional, but only made 14 out of 29 free throws that night. And so you look back and you look ahead. But right now, looking at this one, this is a Lakeview Auburn team, Jim, that can hit a spurt and come back at you awful fast.
Wernemont back to Becky Booz, and they're going with Oberding still in the backcourt. Now, Shodden with the ball to Wernemont once again. Look at Bertogli out there, number 43, dancing around on defense.
It's a zone that they collapse 2 people on the double team on Shodden when the ball goes inside.
Now Shodden back out to Booz again, and it's a science in watching 2 great basketball coaches go at each other. And there's Wernemont. She drains one and gets her 13th point of the night.
And it's a tribute to Lakeview Auburn, Jim, that they're not on the panic button when they're behind. They're still taking their time running their offense.
Great interception attempt. Kathy Kuntz gets it back again, and it's knocked out of bounds by Oberding. Ankeny likes the fast break. They love to get that ball down before the guards can get back from the dividing line and set up their defense.
Everybody notices the offense, but I'm sure most of the experts think the defense in this game is where Ankeny can win it.
And look at Anderson. Ankeny noted for its strength, its physical strength and power, and that was a sheer power drive there by Anderson. 28-17, Ankeny out in front by 11. Over now to Wernemont, to Joanne Shodden, their leading scorer for the year. Back to Sarah Wernemont underneath to Shodden. They got her bent over backwards. Ankeny defense. Shodden tries to baseline it against Wick. Can't do it. And Ankeny hollering for its defense now.
Tremendous display.
Shodden, they're not used to all these arms in the face. As they force Shodden to go outside, she likes to take that shot. Sarah Wernemont. Back again to Booth. Now underneath to Joanne Shodden. And she makes it.
Boy, they're
Credit to
patient.
Joanne Shodden. She really had to work for that shot.
And had it not
Great
gone in.
action. Underneath to Anderson, the give and go. Yori with the basketball. And also credit to Lakeview Auburn defense for getting back so fast. Yori with the basketball. And Mary Yori up with her 10th point of the night. Ankeny now leading again by 11 points, 30-29.
But before you sell Lakeview Auburn out, people, remember this is a basketball team in the last 4 years with these same kids has won 96 and lost only 7.
No team under the current high school athletic union organization has won 3 state championships. That's Wernemont. And Lakeview Auburn would be the first to do it if they win tonight. Mary Yori with the basketball. Ankeny leads by 9 points.
Their current winning string of 31 in a row is the longest they've ever had in their school.
Anderson with a rebound. Back to Yori again, working man-to-man against Gloria Oberding. And back out to Anderson. And now Yori with the basketball. Goes against Oberding. Underneath to Anderson. And here's Yori. How do you stop that? Look at that English on that basketball. Almost popped back out again. Yori now with 12 points. Ankeny leads 32-21. Wernemont to Booz. Back to Sarah Wernemont. Bounce pass to Joanne Shodden and out to Becky Booz. Becky, no basket. A pushing foul on Wicks. That's 4 fouls on Wicks. So we imagine now that Dick Rasmussen is going to call a timeout and make a substitution. Bud McRae is on his feet.
Shaking his head.
That's right. Timeout of the floor. Timeout of the floor. The score, Ankeny 32, Lakeview Auburn 21.
Important, these free throws right now to Lakeview Auburn.
Joanne Shodden at the free throw line. And that's something that she doesn't usually do. Miss a key free throw. Bertogli rebounds. And Anderson with the ball. And they caught Shodden reaching over the line. Foul on Shodden. She She reached over, tried to tie up the ball.
Lakeview Auburn is on the 1-1. Ankeny is not yet on the bonus situation in the ball game.
You're allowed to tie up the ball in Iowa girls basketball only in the lane and in the act of shooting. Girls basketball in Iowa, of course, built for speed and quickness, passing and shooting, and there is action galore, as you can see. Now, attempt a shot by Kathy Kuntz, and the ball is tapped out of bounds and touched by Lakeview Auburn.
Coach Bud McRae is getting pretty worked up over in the bench. Doesn't feel that he's happy with the calls on that end of the floor.
Mary Ori comes right down and puts it through. She's got to be playing her best game of the tournament, and that's saying something because she's had some great games. She's 6 out of 8 from the field, gets her 14th point, and Ankeny now leads 34-21, their biggest lead of the ball game. Becky Booz.
It has been many years since Lakeview Auburn was this far behind.
And once again, and Wernemont with the rebound. Sarah Wernemont puts it through the hoop. 8 out of 21 shots from the field for Lakeview Auburn. Mary Yori with a basketball now. There you see the score. Being supered. Back to Yori. Ball tapped away from her. Picks it back up again. Over to Kathy Coons, and there's her shot. And she puts it through once again. 16 points. She is now 8 out of 10, Frosty, from the field.
The one game that Lakeview Auburn lost last year in the semifinals to Cedar Rapids Kennedy was only 67-58. They're not used to being 13 back.
Right. Becky Booz with the ball underneath to Joanne Schotten, and she's called, foul is called on Jackie Oswego.
Young lady going to the line, a 5-year 4-H member in Sac County. Football cheerleader during that part of the year, wants to go to Iowa State University.
Free throw line now. 68% free throw. And Schotten hits the free throw.
Jim, I told you last night, the young lady from Ankeny sells lemonade at the State Fair in the summertime. This young lady cleans motel rooms. Joanne Schotten.
Diane Pick is in the backcourt for Lakeview Auburn. Schotten now makes it 25 points for Lakeview Auburn. Ankeny leads with 36, an 11-point margin. Kathy Coons with the basketball, and once again tries that long shot. Anderson's rebound shot against Pick, and Gloria Oberding with the rebound, and a foul is called on Sherry Anderson. In girls basketball, you're allowed to get up without being bothered, although if you slide along the floor, it's traveling.
And I imagine it'll be Wernemont. They get the option on the free throw right here. Sarah's 82.7% free thrower, farm girl in Auburn, Iowa.
Right. From the field, she's hitting 70.2%.
Jim, she has sweet music in the trumpet section, too. She received a #1 rating and is going to be in the State Jazz Festival as a trumpet player yet this year.
Amazing how many different talents. Most of these gals are playing the state tournament. They're always the one involved in 4 or 5 different activities and usually 2 or 3 different sports. Okay, Ankeny with the ball, and almost a traveling violation there. Bertogli comes up, 42 seconds to play in an exciting first half. Ankeny 36, Lakeview Auburn 27. Sue John on that hook pass now up to Mary Ori. Over to Kathy Coons. Oberding comes out to greet her, and she really fronts her, not letting her get that long shot away. Sherry Anderson.
If they're playing for one shot, who'll take it?
20. Yori underneath. Anderson bobbled the ball, and they call it for traveling. A traveling violation against Anderson as she bobbled the ball. And that's a pass and a play, Frosty, that they've made 500 times during the season.
And Lakeview Auburn has 16 seconds to get a big psychological basket right before the half.
All right, Diane Pick now to Becky Booz. Clock ticking away. We're down to 10 seconds. Here's Becky Booz with the ball. Goes to Wernemont underneath the Schotten along the baseline. Schotten is good, and she's fouled. No basket. No basket. The shot dropped, but no basket. And foul preceded the shot. Sue John charged with the foul. But now at the free throw line, Joanne Schotten with a 67.8% free throw average.
And you're looking at a young lady that's president of the National Honor Society at her school.
And she's used to pressure. When you win 2 state championships and finish 3rd in another, and are fighting for another state championship tonight, she knows what pressure is.
And our girls' good free throwers, well, yesterday, Gail Kramer of Cedar Rapids Kennedy made 118 in a row.
Intercepted at the last moment, and that should be a psychological boost for Lakeview Auburn in the second half. There is the end of the first half with the score. Ankeny 36, Lakeview Auburn 29. We'll be right back with the Hall of Fame awards after this.
Another highlight, the annual Hall of Fame inductees. Brenda Moeller, Wapsie Valley, 1971 three-time All-American. Levita Stokes of Mallard, 1941. Helen Korick of Keswick, 1949. She once scored 101 points in 25 minutes. Leona Brandt of Hampton, 1926. Carol Phillips of Hamburg, 1959. Five-time first-team All-American. Champions all, these former stars of girls high school basketball in Iowa. Gail Kramer of Cedar Rapids Kennedy set an all-time Iowa girls high school free throw record of 118 straight in the Friday afternoon contest. Gail had been tied for third the previous year. The old mark was 41 in the state tournament and 84 in tournament play around the state during the year. Newton's Teresa Dawson was the runner-up, 24 of 25, and 5 others hit 23. Now we're ready for the second half of action in the girls' championship game.
But right now, Ankeny leads them 36-29, and the ball goes into play in the forward court of Lakeview Auburn, and Bud McRae is going with the same lineup that wound up the first half. Becky Booz, Sarah Wernemont, and Joanne Shodden in the front court. Here's Becky Booz now. Tina Bertogli out there, number 43, the Ankeny guard. Shodden with the basketball. She forces the shot up, and it doesn't make it, and Pick can't get the rebound, or Oswegen rather, cannot get the rebound. It's touched by Shodden, goes out of bounds. And of course, when you play a team like Lakeview Auburn that can ride 2 and 3 and 4 points forever, it's so important to maintain that lead, and that's why Ankeny now wants to do precisely that. So every single play, every loose ball is a momentous occasion. And here's Ankeny now in front court with the basketball. Underneath Anderson, ball dribbles out for fingertips, but Kuntz comes up and makes a save, and Anderson's shot is no good. Furious fight for the rebound, and Diane Pick, who stands only 5 feet 8, which is not giant, gets the rebound, number 20. And a foul is called on Becky Booz. So that means that Ankeny is going to get it right back again in the front court. In the Ankeny front court, Mary Ori, Kathy Kuntz, and Sherry Anderson. Kuntz, K-U-N-Z, the way she spells her name. Ankeny leads 36-29. And here's Kathy Kuntz. Back to Yori. And neither team able to find the hoop so far in the half. And a blocking foul called on Mary Yori in an off-ball collision. Mary Yori collides with Julie Meyer. So they move up to the front court, and Lakeview Auburn now will have possession. Neither team able to score. We still have the same halftime score, 36-29. We're a minute into the third period. Championship game of the 1978 Girls State Basketball Tournament in Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa. Jim Zabel and Frosty Mitchell, your commentators. Okay, Bornemont with the basketball. Back to Shodden, and underneath the Booz, and there's a perfect play, just like the coach diagrammed it. And look at what Lakeview Auburn has done now. They've made a 5-point game out of it. Ankeny out in front in that first half by margins ranging up to 14 points. And now Kathy Kuntz, Sherry Anderson. Sherry Anderson on the rebound shot, puts it through the hoop. 38-31. Ankeny now scores his first 2 points of the second half, maintaining that 7-point lead. Wernemont over to Becky Booz. Back again, it goes to Shodden. She tries to force her way in and through, and a blocking foul is called on Bertogli. Tina Bertogli. That's the second foul on Ankeny, and the second foul also on Bertogli. There's Bud McRae on his feet. Frosty's not wearing the leather coat tonight. He had that off, and looked like he was going to do some hunting last night, and he did in the semifinal round. Here's Lakeview Auburn with the basketball now. Becky Booz throws it. Wernemont over to Becky Booz. And Becky Booz on the outside shot, and that, of course, is so vital to Lakeview Auburn's attack because Ankeny with those defenders wedged down in there tight around the inside players. 38-33 score. Ankeny by 5. Mary Yori with the ball. Yori coming through on another one of those clutch baskets are hers. 16 points for Mariori. 40 for Ankeny, 33 for Lakeview Auburn. Hawkettes of Lakeview with the ball in forecourt. They're in the white uniform. Wernemont to Booz. And Becky Booz that time off the lip of the basket, but Schodden comes through. Joanne Schodden gets her 12th point of the night. He's averaging above 30 points for the season. Underneath to Anderson. Look at the sandwich they make out of her. And Kuntz comes right back. Hits that outside, and that's what Coach Dick Rasmussen wants them to do. Feed that ball back out. Kick it out to Kuntz, and she responds with a bucket. Ankeny leading 42-35. And one of the fine games that we can remember, one of the best played games we can remember between two excellent teams in state tournament history. Both teams sitting now. There's Schodden coming through.
One of the statistics that everybody notices, of course, scoring and fouls, but in the first half, a tribute to championship basketball, there's a turnover, is the fact that Lakeview Auburn and Ankeny each only had 2 team turnovers in the whole first half.
Right, and now we have Ankeny, or Lakeview Auburn rather, with Julie Meyer going to the bench. And coming in replacing her is Sherry Fredericks, number 32, 5'6" junior. Kathy Starr is coming in for Ankeny. Now it's Lakeview Auburn with the basketball. Over to Becky Booz. And she sets and shoots, and no good. And Bertogli with a key rebound. Sherry Anderson underneath. Mariori. Underneath Yori, a beautiful play that time. How quick those Ankeny forwards move that ball around, just as do the Lakeview forwards. Same quickness in their offense. Great hand movements, great passing. Wernemont back to Becky Booz, and here's Schodden. And there's 2 points. Schodden with 16 points.
She's probably working as hard as she ever has in her life. And this is, of course, her 16th state tournament ball game.
Both teams won their semifinal games handily. Now it's Mariori with the basketball. Ankeny leading 44-39.
But Lakeview Auburn has come from 16 points down.
That's right, and Mariori now back in and through, and Kathy Kuntz is open, and she shoots. And she has her 20th point of the night.
The development of Kuntz and Anderson has been the surprise to Ankeny this year. Everybody knew Yori was going to be a great one, but Kuntz and Anderson have really come on.
Gives a tremendous forecourt balance. They got 3 gals to stop instead of 1 or just 2. Here's Schodden with the basketball, and she's put on a 1-gal show out there. Done all the scoring here in the second half with 4 field goals for Lakeview Auburn. 46-41 is the score. Ankeny out in front. Sherry Anderson with the ball. Back again to Kathy Kuntz, and they're coming out to guard her now. Mariori. Underneath to Anderson. Over to Kuntz. And Anderson with the ball. Kuntz is open. And when she's open, Kathy Kuntz gets her 22nd point of the night.
You know, everybody knows about the patience and the discipline of Lakeview Auburn, but Ankeny's running a little of their playbook back at them as far as waiting for the shot they want.
Okay, Becky Booz with the ball, and back to Schodden now. Tries to penetrate the Ankeny outstretched arms. Zone defense can't do it. Wernemont. Becky Booz. And I imagine she's under orders to take that shot out there when she's as open as she is right now, and she's going to do it. And Schodden's rebound shot. Still no good. Bertogli. Key rebound for Ankeny. Yori with the basketball. Oberding almost got it. Loose ball in the court. Oberding does get it. And now a foul is called on Sherry Anderson. Man, oh man, how
you saw 3 of the Ankeny coaches come up off the bench. Lakeview, I think, wants timeout to talk it over.
Right, and Julie Meyer is going to be coming in for Lakeview Auburn, and we have a timeout on the floor with the score. Ankeny 48, Lakeview Auburn 41. And Wernemont led the scoring in the first half for Lakeview with 19, and Kuntz with 16.
Lakeview called the timeout. We'll see if we can spot any changes.
Julie Meyer has come into the Lakeview lineup defensively. Lakeview with the ball in forecourt, 48-41. Ankeny leads and pops in and pops out. Starr with a rebound for Ankeny.
That's one of the advantages of that collapsing double-team zone on the shooter on Schodden, that they've got the rebound position.
Underneath the Kuntz, and a key basket. A 4-point play, actually, as they deny Lakeview the bucket and then get one themselves, and Kuntz has hit 12 out of 16 from the field in this game.
A high school junior. She's going to be a lot of trouble next year.
Joanne Schodden, guarded by Starr. Anderson. They get the shot, and it goes out of bounds. Touched by Bertogli, they rule. Tina Bertogli touches it. Kathy Starr is 5'6". She has come in now along with Oswego in the backcourt for Ankeny.
Look at the hook.
Drive in, hook shot there by Chodden, no good, and Bertogli, for the third straight time, takes a key rebound in this half. Over to Yori.
Joanne Shodden is going to be worn out when this is over, Jim. She is working hard with the ball and off the ball.
On every game up here at State she has. And there's Mary Yori. Look at that release on that shot. Rebound, and look at the job that Gloria Oberding does in getting it. And Oberding now trips and falls and is fouled by Sherry Anderson. Gloria Oberding looks like she's in some pain, but
getting up just a little bit slow is Gloria out there.
She's a pretty tough gal. I'll tell you that. Comes from a great basketball family. Bud McRae is on the basketball court. He's very concerned at the present time.
That's referee Bob Hildebrand that's out there with her, a farmer from Earlville. He's been officiating 26 years.
Gloria says, hey, I'm okay. She wants to continue in that ball game with this much at stake. 54 seconds to go in the third period. But Ankeny out in front by 9, 50-41.
Her nickname is Go. That's her initials, G-O, for Gloria Oberding.
And right now we're watching Shodden try to go down to Wernemont. Sarah Wernemont finds the net. That's the first score by anybody outside of Shodden for Lakeview here in the second half. And Wernemont now with 21 points.
And the quarter's about over, 35 seconds.
Mary Yori to Kathy Kuntz. Back to Yori again. Julie Meyer stretches out those long arms. Yori goes right over them, and Anderson's off for the rebound, feeds it back out. Who's going to get the ball? Wild scramble and the foul out. Called on Lakeview Auburn, Sherry Frederick. 20 seconds to go.
Bud McRae,
not at all happy. He wants a timeout.
With 20 seconds to go in the quarter, he must want to talk to the official, not the kids. You don't usually...
Lewis Bud McRae calls a timeout with a score. Ankeny 50, Lakeview Auburn 43. 36-23 was the score with 1:58 left to play in the quarter. And now it is Ankeny 50 and Lakeview Auburn 43. So it's been a cat and mouse game here of Ankeny getting big leads up to 16 points. And then Lakeview making some great rallies.
16 big seconds.
Here's Mary Yori, and a key play by Mary Yori. Yori with 20 points now. Ankeny leads by 9, 52-43. Lakeview with the ball in forecourt. And Oberding now is back in the forecourt again. Gloria Oberding. And doesn't worry about shooting because the girls' basketball, they retain possession between quarters. And we'll be right back for the final quarter after this message. Ankeny 52, Lakeview Auburn 43, and Lakeview will put the ball into play. It's Sarah Wernemont now to Gloria Oberding, who has done a great job both at guard and forward for her Lakeview Hawkettes.
Lakeview Auburn boys will be back for the first time ever next Wednesday against Garwin in the boys Class A tournament.
Shodden with the ball. Charge on Shodden. We had to hesitate on that because generally speaking, they go in favor of the forwards, but this time, no question about it, Starr had her blocked.
And evidence of how hard Shodden is working to try and get loose, to get the ball, to get the shot.
Right, a charging foul on a forward. You don't too often find that in state tournament play. Bertogli with the ball now, number 43 for Ankeny. Back to Kathy Starr. Trying to work it out. They're allowed unlimited possession time in the backcourt and the front court before they shoot the ball. But they cannot stall in the backcourt. And here's Mary Yori. Off the lip of the basket and a foul on Yori. So I guess turnabout is fair play. The key forward in each court now called with an offensive foul and within 30 seconds of each other.
And Lakeview Auburn is on the 1-1. Ankeny is not, so they get the option with a very good free thrower. Sarah Wernemont going to go to the line.
Wernemont is hitting 82.7% from the field.
She's on the newspaper staff and secretary-treasurer of the student council at Lakeview Auburn.
And a rarity for her, she misses. But Tina Bertogli, the top rebounder on the Ankeny team, gets in, and Ankeny likes that fast break. Kathy Kuntz. Back to Yori. Beautiful bounce pass to Sherry Anderson, and there's a classic Ankeny play, passing off 3 times. And it shows the balance in that front court as Ankeny now leads by 11 points, 54-43.
And
Oberding with the ball.
Back to we're under the 7-minute mark.
Joanne Shodden with her 20th point of the game, 54-45. Mary Yori, been the workhorse of this Ankeny team all season long. But what balance in that court. Yori kicks it back out now to Anderson. Over to Kathy Kuntz. Look at that teamwork.
That is textbook. That's the way you put it on the drawing board. If you were making a training film of girls basketball, you would include that sequence.
Just beautiful teamwork in passing. And that, of course, is what the whole girls' game is about in the state of Iowa. Gloria Oberding.
I'm wondering whether Gloria Oberding is going to be all tournament. I'm wondering which court it's going to be, Jim.
That's right. She has only 2 points in this game, but she's been invaluable in the backcourt for Bud McRae all tournament long and all season long, as well as the front court. But most games she hasn't been needed in the backcourt.
A lot has been said about Lakeview Auburn trying to make history, winning it 3 times in a row for the first time. This Ankeny team could make history also, as they've already won the girls' softball title this year.
Right. Mary Ori was a star player on that team, and you just saw her come in. What a bucket. She's made 10 out of 16. Ankeny leads again by 11 points, 58-47. Gloria Oberding with that famous shot of hers. She likes to drive it down. She's the 4th of 5 sisters. The 5th sister, Sharon, starts high school next fall out there.
If Ankeny should win the basketball title, they'd be only the 2nd school to ever make the sweep of fall softball and basketball. Bill Hennessy and Roland Story was the other one.
Give Mary Ori an assist on that. A perfect pass.
Wow.
To Sherry Anderson for Mary Ori. She does it all. Ankeny leading 60-49. Oberding with the ball to Shodden.
And, Jim, that clock is becoming important now with 5:18 to go.
Tremendously important. And look at that missed shot by Shodden. Picked up on the rebound by Jackie Oswego. And now Bertogli with it. And I think Ankeny's beginning to sense something happening here. As Kathy drives in to lay it up the score. The Ankeny fans are going crazy. It's Ankeny 62. Lakeview Auburn 49. Gloria Oberding hesitates a moment, finds Shodden with the ball, back again to Wernemont. And there's Wernemont over the head of Tina Bertogli.
An Ankeny team, Jim, that was rated #1 in the state all last year, got beat in the quarterfinals. 10 was their rating coming into this tournament this year, and here they are now, a solid #1.
Harry Anderson back to Yori. Look at that individual move by Yori, and recovery by Anderson. Great recovery by Anderson, and what balance you have. Mary Ori with 22 points, Kathy Coons with 28, Sherry Anderson with 14 right now, all in double figures. Bad pass, one of the rarities. Lakeview Auburn never makes a mistake, and that's what they pride themselves on, but a pass goes out of bounds, turnover, and it's going to be Ankeny's ball. Oswego goes out of the game, and Wick comes back in. She picked up 4 fouls early. Ankeny with the basketball. Kathy Starr, number 15. And it is a charging foul on Bertogli as she runs into Oberding. And Oberding does a good job at drawing the foul.
A huge Ankeny crowd, part of this 15,000 on hand, starting to get the feeling. Comparing school size, Lakeview Auburn has 106 girls. Ankeny has 490.
Ankeny leading 64-51, and as Frosty said, the clock is the big element in here right now. Lakeview Auburn many times has used that clock to their advantage. They don't mind sitting on the ball, but you got to have a lead to do it.
And we're right now halfway through the 4th and final quarter.
There's Shodden reaching those long arms up and getting a vital shot for her team. 22 points for Shodden, but they're still 11 points behind, 64-53. Ankeny over to Yori, back again. Sherry Anderson sees an opening and scores. Got it behind Julie Meyer, number 52.
And Lakeview Auburn needs a basketball miracle right now.
Ankeny leading by 13 points over the team that thought they could become the first team ever to win 3 girls basketball titles, but how elusive that honor is. There's Shodden again with her 24th point. Montezuma, Frosty, you recall that. Thought they could do it a few years ago and came within 1 game of doing that.
1969, 70, and 71. 89 straight wins for Montezuma.
But they lost the big one, and now here's Mary Yori with the ball. Back out to Kathy Coons. Out to Yori, and a great defensive play by Diane Pick, but she can't quite catch the ball. Back to Yori. Underneath to Anderson, and it'll be a charge on Anderson. No question about that. She bowled right through Sherry Fredericks that time. One thing we want to point out, Frosty, to our fans around the country watching on public broadcasting, how quick the girls' game is with just 2 bounces, 3-second possession limit. And I personally think it's about as fast as hockey when you actually have to broadcast it.
You notice it most when you're doing play-by-play. Our camera crew have been fantastic in this work.
We want to thank Dick Siley and his crew for just a super job in this entire tournament.
Jim, I think you're beginning to see the panic of Lakeview Auburn, the fact that they made a turnover a moment ago, and now they're missing free throws.
Now they make a foul on top of everything else, a foul on Joanne Shodden, and you're beginning to sense, look at the pensive look on the face of one of the Lakeview Auburn players, one of the reserves. just staring blankly out at that basketball court. This is something they are not used to.
You know, and a difference, Jim, if this was Lakeview-Auburn right now with an 11-point lead, they'd be letting the air out of the ball. Ankeny's running their offense.
And they're trying to run up the score, and they're doing it. Mary Yori just keeps right on pumping that ball through. Yori now with 24 points. Kathy Close with 28 points. Lakeview wants a timeout. The score, Ankeny 68, Lakeview-Auburn 55. On an interview I did with him, I said, buddy, you worried about possibly meeting Ankeny? He said, I'm scared to death. He said, because they play, without question, the toughest competition in the whole state. He was totally honest about it, and I think we're seeing the result of that right now. Here's Joanne Shodden as she gets it.
The mark of an Ankeny team this year, Jim, as we've watched them, is they've gotten better in every game.
They have. And Julie Meyer almost gets the interception. A foul is called on Julie Meyer as she tries to get the ball away from Sherry Anderson of Ankeny. 2:34 to go. The score, Ankeny 68 and Lakeview-Auburn 57. And congratulations to the girls' union, but most of all, congratulations to the state of Iowa. Tonight's attendance, 14,612, sets an all-time tournament attendance record, 93,560 fans, breaking the old mark of 92,376 set in 1977. A credit to girls basketball, and there's Dick Rasmussen, still pensive, still chewing that gum.
Yep. Young lady on the line, Sherry Anderson, likes to show quarter horses when she's not playing basketball.
All righty, and now it's Lakeview-Auburn with a sense of desperation about him as Diane Fick brings the ball back out to Sherry Fredericks, number 32, across the line, and Oberding takes it in forecourt.
Jim, our winner is coming out of the lower bracket, incidentally.
Shodden, with 2 straight field goals now, has narrowed that gap a bit down to 11 points. 70-59, Ankeny leading.
5 out of the last 7 years, the winner had come out of the upper bracket, and everybody said it was that extra day of rest that the upper bracket teams had.
But one thing Ankeny did, Dick Rasmussen kept them at home. Ankeny's located just about 8 miles north of Des Moines on the interstate. You can make it as fast from home as you can from a motel here in Des Moines. Diane Fick picks up a foul.
Bud McRae.
Bud McRae can't believe it.
He says it was a good block.
Hey, how do you like that one? International Bubblegum Championship. Has this been won?
Boy, what a player. Kathy Coons is the one on the line.
And Coons, with that odd angle she takes, standing to the right side of the free throw line. But how successful she has been with that shot all tournament long.
A 3.85 honor student, that young lady. She also writes for their school papers.
72-59 is the score. Ankeny out in front, and Diane Fick, who committed the foul, has the basketball. Forecourt, fast break, Shodden, down, good. That's a play that Ankeny likes to run. That's a play that Lakeview likes to run, and they're doing it.
And it's certainly obvious that Lakeview-Auburn has not given up. They're hanging in there.
Very, very tenacious. And now, will they adopt a page out of the Lakeview-Auburn book and put the ball into deep freeze?
Nope.
No, they're not going to do it. Mary Yori sees the back door beckoning. She has 26 points. Kathy Coons has 30 points. And Sherry Anderson, 18. That's what you call balance.
And 2 straight years, the Central Iowa Conference will win it. Southeast Polk last year. Ankeny, the team that beat Polk this year. Right
here in the Des Moines, Central Iowa area from the same conference. Joanne Shodden, rebound shot, puts it through. 74-63, Ankeny, 1:04 to play in this ball game, and history is about to be made as Ankeny is going to win its first state championship. Sherry Anderson, 76-63, following on the heels of that state softball championship last fall. And now foul on Ankeny. It's on Tina Bertogli, but Ankeny's not worried about that. Those fans over there can hardly restrain themselves. And right there, the picture says more than 10 million words. Lakeview-Auburn, for the first time in 30 games, for only the 8th time in 107 games, Frosty is tasting defeat.
But, Jim, in the last 4 years, those kids have had 2 state titles, a state runner-up, and a state consolation championship in 4 years.
Something I would say that 99% of the girls that play high school basketball will never be able to boast. They'll remember it for a long time, even though they're going to finish second. And look at where he looks as we look down the Lakeview-Auburn bench. Kathy Starr over to Bertogli. We're down inside the 1-minute mark now. And Gloria Oberding comes up with a steal, but to no avail. Ball is touched and goes out of bounds by Bertogli. Oberding will play it in. Ankeny leads. They've got the game now. 11-point lead.
Dick Rasmussen isn't going to look much different in that red championship jacket than he does in his Ankeny blazers.
And Wernemont's shot rolls around, drops through. 30 seconds to play. Ankeny 76, And Lakeview Auburn 67, and there's Sherry Anderson as they just continue to score. I guess one word to describe the Ankeny attack is relentless. It just keeps coming at you.
Awesome, just awesome defense.
Now it's over and back. Who's it going to be awarded to? Ankeny's going to get it in forecourt. Kathy Kuntz, 17 seconds to go. Lakeview Auburn does not become the first team, and a foul is called down there on number 32, Sherry Fredericks. Lakeview Auburn will not be the first team ever to win 3 state titles, and Ankeny instead will win its first state basketball title.
There are kids watching tonight from Valley of West Des Moines, Southeast Polk, Ames, and East Des Moines. They're all saying, hey, we beat the state champions. But they did it early in the year.
Well, that's how tough this part of the state was, Frosty, in basketball. Sherry Anderson's rebound shot, and they fight for it. Diane Pick had a chunk of it there, and finally Sherry Fredericks in forecourt. 8 seconds, 7 seconds, and a foul. Called against Ankeny. Kathy Starr picks up her first foul.
And one of the great ones might be going to the line for one of the last times in her high school career.
Salute to Gloria Oberding. And there you see the unhappiness on the bench as they look at Gloria Oberding. She has a young sister, Sharon, coming up, who will be the 5th Oberding to play basketball. The Jean Oberdings are the parents of all those Oberding girls out there.
They should be proud.
6 seconds to play in the ballgame. Tina Bertogli with the basketball. The Ankeny fans at Cadence count. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And there you have the new champions of basketball for 1978. Ankeny defeating Lakeview Auburn 78 to 69. The first loss for Lakeview Auburn since last year, and only their 7th loss in 106 games. And Bud McRae, the very gracious coach of the losers, is trying to get over there to congratulate Coach Dick Rasmussen, who was in the center of that mob scene. There's Dick Rasmussen, a happy guy.
Now the all-tournament team. Cindy Dreesen of Westline. Mona Mosbarger, Vinton. Joanne Shodden, Lakeview Auburn. Mary Yorey, Ankeny. Beth Strang, St. Edmund of Fort Dodge. Diane Pick, Lakeview Auburn. Gloria Oberding, Lakeview Auburn. And the captain, Tina Bertogli of Ankeny. These are the best gals in the state. And now Ankeny coach Dick Rasmussen with that long-awaited moment, putting on the traditional red victor's coat here at the 1978 state tournament. And now the happiest moment of all for these young ladies from Ankeny, who started out way back in November with their practice session and then their games, going down the long tournament trail until tonight to win the most coveted honor of all, the state championship, and to do it in such convincing fashion over a team that